Hello. So we're going to be talking about plotting ordered pairs of numbers. Coordinate grid, ordered pair, x-axis, y-axis, and quadrants are all on this information right here. So first of all, x and y-axis. X-axis goes horizontal, y-axis goes vertical. When you're dealing with these, the numbers to the right of the x-axis is positive, and the numbers to the left are negative. Think of a number line. When you're dealing with the y-axis, think of a temperature thermometer, right? Anything at the origin, this is called the origin, this is where the middle is, right? Anything above it is positive, and anything below it is negative. Also, the 4 quarters of this, the 4 sections are called quadrants. And if they asked you where a point is located, what quadrant it may be located, you would tell them exactly what quadrant. This is 1, 2, 3, and 4, and it goes counterclockwise. Always in Roman numerals, okay? And then the ordered pair is the x and the y. X always comes before y, and you're going to need to know that because we'll be talking about slope and slope-intercept form and point-slope form, and that x and y is very important to remember where they are as an ordered pair and what numbers you're going to be looking at. The whole thing is called a coordinate plane, and again, the x-axis is the horizontal axis, the horizontal line, and the y-axis is the vertical line. So, moving on, we're going to plot some points. So, I made up some points that are important to find, and we're going to do it on our little XY axis coordinate grid that I kind of threw up here. So, 5 and 3, remember this is the x, this is the y. If it helps you, you can label them, it's okay. The x runs this way. You're going to start at the origin and you're going to go 5 to the right because it's a positive number. And then you're going to go 3 up, and that's a positive number, right? And then where the 2 meet is where you would put your point, and you would label that A. Not too hard, right? -2, -4. Again, this is your x, this is your y. And you would start at the origin, and you would go 1, 2 to the left because it's negative, and 1, 2, 3, 4 down because that's negative. And where those 2 numbers meet is where you're going to plot B. The next one is 1, -2. So you go over 1 to the right and you go down 2. And you say C. -5, 3, you would go 5 to the left and up 3. And that would be D. And then 0, 2, and -5, 0. I put these on here because they have those zeros, and some people get a little confused about what to do with them. So 0, 2, you start at the origin. You're not moving anywhere. You're not going to the left or the right. You're staying at the origin, hence 0, right? And then you're going to go 2 up, and it's going to be located here, and you're going to label that one E. That wasn't too hard, right? But -5, 0. Well, that's reverse. So let's see about that. The x tells me to move left or right. It's a negative, so I have to move left. So I'm going to go over 5, and then it's 0. That means I'm not going to move at all, and it's going to stay on the x-axis, and that is going to be labeled F. So that is how you plot points. You do the exact same thing in finding the points. If they say, find me the coordinate, the coordinate for A, you would go over 5 and up 3, and you would say, well, that would be 5, 3. And then you would do that for every one of them. They could ask you to plot the points, or they could ask you for the plot of the points. They could ask you for the coordinate, what is wrong with my brain? The ordered pair, there we go. The ordered pair. And then you would find them where they are, okay? All right, next up. They may ask you to complete a table, and this gets you into completing the table to draw a line kind of thing. This kind of sets that up for it. But this is complete the table for the equation y equals 3x. What you're doing, don't make it harder than what it is. I always tell the students, don't make it harder than what it is. You are putting in the -1 where the x is, substituting it, and then solving for the y. You're going to put this one in for the y and solve for the x. This one also goes in for the y and you solve. So let's look at we're doing this. this is my A, right? And my equation is y equals 3x. This means 3 times x. I think in previous videos you may know that this is a coefficient and this is a variable and they mean to multiply. So you're actually doing 3 times -1. And then y would equal -3. And that is your answer for this. And that's how that works. Simple as that. Substitute the numbers they give you and find out what the answers they need. So you say, well, what about B? Well, what about it? You're going to do 0 equals 3x. And really, this should be a no-brainer because by now you know your multiplications. What times 3 gives you 0? 0. So you would kind of like divide because it's multiplication. So the opposite of multiplying is dividing. And then you would say x equals 0. And those 3's kind of cancel out one another. And this would be 0, 0. And then C, I think I have a little room here. You would have -9 because you're substituting that for the y. And then equals 3x. Well, this is an equation, and it's asking you what times 3 is going to give you -9. And all you have to do is divide, and you may have came up with that answer already in your head if you know your multiplications. And then x equals -3. Why -3? Because a negative divided by a positive is a negative, and 9 divided by 3 is 3, so -3. And you have answered all that they wanted you to put in there. So, next up, I think I did another one a little differently set up. It's not a table. It just gives you those ordered pairs, and you have to do almost the same thing. It's giving you the x, the y, and the x. And this is the equation they gave you. So that's a little different than the last equation, right? So you would do 3 times 0 plus y equals 12. And this is 0 plus y equals 12. Nothing that you would have to add or subtract. So y equals 12. And that's the answer they want. And that's the answer you would fill in, right? So B, they gave me a y for 6. Remember, this is your xy, right? Ordered pair. And they gave you the 6. So you would do 3x plus 6 equals 12. And now this is the equation. You have to solve for x. So you minus 6, divide by 3, divide by 3. Those 3's cancel out. 6 divided by 3 is 2. X equals 2. And then you would write in here your answer. And I'll underline it so you know that's the answer you're looking for, right? Now, you can stop the camera and see if you can do this one by yourself. This is a good extra practice, but I'll walk you through the steps. Or stop the camera. Stop the video. Pause it, right? So you would do 3 times -1 plus y equals 12. -3 plus y equals 12. To get rid of this -3, I have to do the opposite of subtracting, which is to add. So I'm going to add 3, and if I add 3 to one side, then I have to add 3 to the other side. And then y equals 15. I didn't circle this answer. So, and then we do 15, and that's the answers for there. So this is just the beginning of your graphing unit, and the next video should be finding the slope of a line. So we'll talk about that next time. Thanks, and have a good day.